Okay, General, it's our last lap. We were dealing with the budget. And where we were was CJC 18. This was a request for financial approval for an extension for the period 1 April 2025 to 30 June 2025. Is that right?
That's correct, Commissioners.
And did you prepare this note?
Yes, I did.
And if we can just go to page 132. Actually, let's just take it for one step back. Let's just start with the first page. You begin this information note by explaining that this comes after the directive of the minister to disband.
That is correct.
So you then go on to explain why you continuing to make this request. So perhaps you can just explain that with reference to paragraph 3 of the background. So, yeah.
Thank you, Commissioners. On the background, it's more of the events that took place from the 31st of December letter, which then we were using as a background because it was during that period of uncertainty. The financial authority and extension had expired on the 31st of March. Hence, then we prepared this one that was going to kickstart from the 1st of April. And the background now is changing. It is talking to the letter as it came on the 31st of December, various meetings that has taken place, and the winding down plan as approved or suggested by the National Commissioner that this is how he's going to handle the situation during that time. Hence, then we had to prepare the extension as well as the financial authority for a shorter period, which was the financial authority was for the whole financial year as it was prepared, which was going then to allow the winding down plan. That is what is mainly contained in the background.
So that explains why at paragraph 4 on page 127, you estimate the expenditure for 68 members. It's for a smaller number.
That is correct. The estimation there is for a smaller number that will see the dockets that are at court through.
And that estimation, if we look at the table, it says 68 SAPS members per month for 12 months. I understand that to be that's incorrect. It's not supposed to be for 12 months, right? It's for 2 months.
More especially, it's a typing error, more especially if we look at the first recommendation on the same page, which reads the approval for extension be granted for the duration of 3 months.
3 months, 1st April to 30 June.
Yes.
And so the budget that was requested here was about 9.9 million.
That's correct, Commissioner.
With that correction, General, the heading where it says estimated expenditure for the period, what then would that be for? Because as it stands now, it's for 12 months. What months are we looking at?
3 months.
From which period? From 1 April?
From 1st of April until 30th of June, Commissioner.
So as per the first bullet under recommendations, Commissioner Barwe. So the estimation was about 9.9 million for those 3 months. And then if we turn over, can you just explain then the notes of the CFO?
The CFO is indicating that, yes, the funds will be available as per discussion with the National Commissioner and per approved call-up instruction signed by the same National Commissioner. An amount for only 1 month is confirmed. The rest of the request for the funding beyond 1 month must be submitted as part of the budget input of the cost center if the project is to continue. So it's the same comment like we had seen in one of the recommendations by the CFO, where at the beginning of the financial year, she will allocate for the first few months, awaiting the final allocation of the budget. But the difference here is the drafter, the compiler, which is myself, was recommending 3 months based on experience that the final allocation of budgets takes the maximum of 3 months. Now, the discussion between the CFO and the National Commissioner overruled the 3 months and went to 1 month. So one can be of a view that maybe it was because of the uncertainty around the task team extension.
So the approval then was for 1 month.
That is correct.
And the National Commissioner's signature was on 7 April 2025. That explains then why there's a request, a second request that's made, and that's at page 130, and it's CJC 19. And that's, again, a request for financial approval for the period 1 May 2025 to 31 July. Is that right?
That's correct, Commissioners, for another 3 months.
And as with the previous request for approval that we just read, you set out the background to the request, and then you set out the amount that you are requesting at page 132.
Yes, Commissioners.
And here you estimate expenditure for the period 1 May 2025 to 31 July 2025 for this time 56 SAPS members. So is this in line, again, with the phasing out?
It is in line with the winding down, because the National Commissioner's proposal was, as the case is finalized, those that were dealing with the case will withdraw. And then that's why the numbers kept on going down.
And what was the budget you requested here?
It was 8.4 million, and then the funds that were made available by the CFO were 13.2 million. Reason being, if we look at the period it starts from the 1st of April. Her recommendation includes the month that we had the authority for already. They do that for their cost center policies, that if you have the financial authorities that are 1 month each, it makes their maybe work difficult. Hence, there was an approval of the April 1 month. But then when we apply for 3 months, then she recommends 4 months. It means she's reversing and starting from the 1st of April.
So that's the reason for the increase.
For the increase.
The increase, the 13.2
Yeah.
instead of 8.4.
Yeah.
And that was approved by the National Commissioner, is that correct?
That is correct, Commissioners.
And that takes you up until the 31st of July.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Then we come to CJC 20. And this is a request for financial approval for 1 August 2025 to 31 March 2026.
That is correct, Commissioners. Now, this one is for the remainder of the financial year, as the applications have been done in drips and drabs periodically. Now, this one is for the whole financial year.
So why is this one now for the ones that were done earlier? You said was because of the uncertainty, and so there were small extensions. Why is this one for a longer period?
Firstly, the budget allocations had been finalized, and then secondly, one being part of, as I've said, that this was the period where there were lots of factors affecting the decision making. So from the application of 3 months as it's a norm, whilst waiting for the final allocation of budget, then instead 1 month is approved. And then the next batch it's 4 months. Then this time around, if now we can link this with the other parts of my affidavit, it was after the long sought after reasons for the disbandment were starting to be clear, or they were clear that they are not genuine. So then the application can be now for the whole month as powers vested on the accounting officer to approve the budget of SAPS.
You say general allocations had been done as at this stage. Were these allocations done in accordance with the original PKTT numbers, or were they done in accordance with the numbers that were dwindling?
They were done in accordance with the last number that was dwindling.
Thank you.
So at this point in August, you felt emboldened to ask for an financial approval for a longer period.
From the compiler's point of view,
Which is you.
yes, the commissioners, the reason behind that is the understanding of the finalization of the allocation process. Because that's what we have been doing all these years. The first few months, maximum of 3 of the financial year, you are given the provisional approval. Then after that, then there is allocation. Then you'll get then the approval for the whole financial year. That is the official reason from my side as a drafter.
That's the official reason. Your official reason is then it's about the budget cycle.
Yes.
Okay. And you make the request then for 1 August 2025 to 31 March 2026.
Yes.
And can you just explain the table, the numbers and the amount requested? The number of members. So this is...
The number of members now, it's 56. And then with all those allocations, it gives a total of 31.1 million.
And that was signed, this was signed by General Mchunu.
Yes.
Not by you. The previous ones were signed by you.
Yes, the reason being, as the whole world know, that I've been arrested and removed from some of the responsibilities. Now I could not sign off some of the things that were supposed to be signed by myself.
Okay. So
Hence, maybe to also include, hence then even the cost center as reflected there on page 136, because that will be very specific as to where the budget will be allocated to. Under recommendation number 2, the estimated budget of 31.1 million be approved and funded from the national budget, and such budget be managed at Provincial Commissioner KwaZulu-Natal. Because of my inability since the June or July, somewhere there, the arrest up to date.
Just to clarify, General, you haven't been suspended. You're not on suspension from work. Or are you? Maybe let me ask, have you been suspended?
I am not suspended, but I am not allowed to perform my duties.
All right, thank you.
okay, so that explains the signature then by General Mkhwanazi. I also see that in the second bullet under recommendations, that there's a reference to Annexure A and B. We don't have that. We don't have that in this bundle, but I think it would be important for us to get those annexures just to complete this set of documents. Would it be possible to get those?
Which ones?
So it's the second bullet under recommendations on page 136.
The second bullet.
Yes.
Yes.
Estimated budget. And then the last line, as recommended by the CFO as per attached annexure A and B.
Yes, we can provide those annexures.
Thank you. Just to finish this off, though, that was the request was for 31 million. Can we just complete this by referring to what the CFO then recommended?
Thank you, Commissioners. The estimated budget applied for was 31.1 million, and the CFO is availing plus minus 27 million. Reason being, that's why the CFO is explaining that the management of this budget should be such it is utilized up until the end of February 2025, which is a month before. Reason being that all the expenses during March will be accommodated for in the new financial year. So it's not a decrease on the estimated budget. It's a minus of 1 month expenditure, which is March the following year.
You said 2025, it's 2026, General.
Oh, apologies, Commissioners, 2026.
Thank you, Chair. And
You also referred to the financial year. Am I mistaken that the government's financial year starts on the 1st of April each year?
That is correct, Commissioner. It starts on the 1st of April. But the reason why the Chief Financial Officer made such a comment is this plus minus 27 million budget can be utilized up until the expenditure of the end of February. Then for the last month of the financial year, which is March, will fall on the new financial year starting from the 1st of April 2026.
Thank you, General.
Perhaps I realize perhaps I should have completed my question just so that it doesn't remain hanging. General, when I asked you that you are not at work and you confirmed you are not on suspension, you said you are not allowed to do your work. What do you mean by that? Who doesn't allow? Is it the National Commissioner is not allowing you to do your work?
No, it is the bail condition.
Thank you.
and then, General, can you just finish with this document? So what the National Commissioner then noted?
The approval by the National Commissioner with comments as per CFO comments, I think.
So he approved it
He
in line.
approved in line with what the CFO have said above.
And the PKTT, therefore, is now operating under this financial approval.
Under this financial approval up until the end of March 2026.
Thank you.
Maybe, Chair, Commissioners, before I step off, because one is receiving lots of information as this process is moving on. The allegations or the information that talks to only the financial approvals granted is misleading, because if you look at our applications, they include both the application for extension. That's why on all of them, there are 2 recommendations for the National Commissioner to approve the usage of the budget as availed by the CFO and also the extension. So the same document gives the approval of both the function and the budget thereof. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, General. So we started this discussion on the budget. It was an extension of what you had been presenting to Parliament on the 5th of March. So if we can just return now in our timeline back to 5 March 2025. I just want to ask you whether in this presentation to the Portfolio Committee, whether there were any concerns raised by the Portfolio Committee with the work of the PKTT that you'd presented.
Thank you, Commissioners. One, looking at the invitation, and the agenda as provided by the portfolio committee, one will be of the view that it was informed by the current situation. Hence, it was talking to instability within crime intelligence division because of misinformation that was spreading almost every day in the social and print media. And then on the other hand, the issue of the disbandment of the political killings came in to join during that discussion. So one is of the view that the portfolio committee deemed it fit for them to be briefed on these two burning issues. I choose to use burning issues because they were burning issues. And indeed, we prepared to the best of our ability from our side to cover the two areas, which is the instability within the division, giving the reason of each and every misinformation that is seen out there. And then on the other hand, also a detailed presentation on the political killings task team. The political killings task team briefing was not so difficult to prepare because we had not long ago prepared the 27-page document for the minister. Then it was a matter of updating and converting it into a presentation format that will be used to brief the portfolio committee. So after both the briefings, one, this is my view, one was expecting the burning discussion as these were burning issues. But one then did not really get the burning. There were comments there and there, but not really burning discussions around the issues. One of the issues on the attachment is the one that talks to the story that was all over the social and print media of the division employing a 29-year-old girl, which then in the briefing, it was there with all evidence, with everything that was done. But one then also did not get it discussed there the way it's burning when it is discussed on the social and print media. Hence, then 2 months after that, we were still arrested and charged for the same thing that we had explained even to the portfolio committee. So my assessment will be the discussion was not as burning as the issues were discussed before we were invited.
Can I just make one comment on what you said, General Khumalo? A 29-year-old would not be a girl, but a woman.
But the headline.
No, you referred to the 29-year-old girl. I'm just saying a 29-year-old would not be a girl.
I was quoting the print media headline.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so that was the 5th of March, and then as I understand, still on the 5th of March, you moved from the portfolio committee to a briefing with the minister.
Yes, after the disbandment discussion was not as burning within SAPS now by then it started to burn a day after presentation to the portfolio committee. Hence, then we received the invitation for a meeting in Cape Town for the 6th of March.
Oh, it was the 6th of March.
Yeah.
Just so that we track your statement as far as possible, we were at paragraph 157, and from there until paragraph 159, you deal with a correction you wanted to make to something that General Sabia said. I think you've covered it adequately in the statement. Unless there's something specific you wish to say in addition to what's here, could we just move on?
No, there is nothing else that I would like to add. I was just correcting that misquoting of the information that we presented on the 5th, that the team operating in silos was the then provincial team. It was not this team that was being disbanded. But in this affidavit, we are misquoted as if we are saying this team is working in silos. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's also, with that correction, there's also a part of this where you've quoted the very last paragraph. Do you want to correct that, or is that a correct representation of what you said? It says, due to the task team failing to deliver on their mandate, is that you? Is it supposed to be you, or is this General Sibia providing an explanation why the minister made the decision?
Thank you, Commissioner. This is the misinformation and misquoting by General Sibia in his affidavit.
Yes. In that he says you said this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you say you did not say that.
I did not say that.
Thank you.
I did say it in the briefing to the portfolio committee, but I was referring to the then provincial task team.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's turn then to the next, to 6 March. That's on paragraph 160 of your statement. You say that in preparation for the meeting, you proposed a plan in line with the recommendations that were set out in the 27-page report,
Yes.
right? And
Yes,
that's okay, and that's attached as SDK 30 in your bundle. And this briefing on the 6th of March, as I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, again says to the minister much the same thing as what is contained in that 27-page report, including a plan for a gradual winding down. Is that right?
That is correct, Commissioners. We were guided by the invitation. The invitation was not saying, I need a briefing on PKTT. It was saying the meeting is about PKTT disbandment implementation. Hence, then the National Commissioner decided that we take the same process or information that was in the unsigned information note and we deduct it into a presentation in preparation for the meeting of the 6th of March in Cape Town.
So this is the first time that you refer to a disbandment plan
Yes.
in your
Yes.
briefing on the 6th of
Yes.
March. And the plan is, you've reproduced it at page 66 in the table. The overall activities that would have to happen to implement that plan.
Yes, Commissioners.
And the first row says approval of disbandment plan. as an activity, and the responsibility is a Minister of Police, and the due date is 6 March 2025. Can you explain that?
We had to prepare the disbandment plan correctly so with the activity, the responsible person and the due date for that activity. And then hence then this was included in the plan itself. But the plan, the presentation was in details explaining everything as it was explained in the unsigned information note of 22nd of January.
Can I just ask why the dates on page 66, paragraph 162, differ from the dates in the action plan on page 300
Yeah.
of the annexures bundle?
Sorry, Commissioner, can you remind me of the page number?
Page 300.
Thank you.
And while you're there, General, that all of the dates differ, so you
Yes.
might want to explain this table.
Yeah, the explanation was going to be covered as I move on with this affidavit, but to explain, these dates were informed by the meeting date that as we meet on the 6th, we present, and then the minister approves on the 6th of March. Then, unfortunately, it was not approved. Instead, the meeting was rescheduled for the 27th of March. Hence, then the dates are moving now from the 6th to the 27th of March. So everything was going to be kickstarted by the approval. If the approval is done on the 6th of March, then others are continuing. If the approval is done on the 27th of March, then other activities will continue.
Is
But
that
this-
what, sorry, is that what you refer to in paragraph 164, the last sentence, maybe the second last on page 67? Sorry, Advocate Hassan.
No, no problem.
That is exactly what I'm referring to, Commissioners. The way I understood it was to mean then the absence of any agreement or approval on the way forward, there will be no movement of dockets or personnel because nothing is approved. The information note is not approved up to date. The proposed plan was not approved in Cape Town on the 6th. The amended proposed plan was not approved on the 27th of March. So up to date, there is nothing that is approved.
So just to be clear, the table then, the action plan table is continuously updated because everything can only flow from the first item, which is an approval of the plan.
Yes, Commissioners, if I'm invited for the disbandment meeting tomorrow, I will change the date on the action plan and put tomorrow's date for approval. So it will keep on moving up until it's approved.
Now, who was present at this meeting?
The first meeting.
The meeting of the
you
6th.
Commissioners, or on
Sorry, before we, at 6th of March.
presence in the first meeting in Cape Town, it was the Minister, the National Commissioner, the Deputy National Commissioner Policing, Lieutenant General Msigidi, the Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Sbia, the Chief of Staff in the Office of the Minister of Police, Mr. Nkabinde, the Divisional Commissioner of Detective Services and Detectives and Forensic Services, Lieutenant General Sintumule, and a Lieutenant Colonel then from the team, and myself.
And in your statement, you say after you presented this plan, the National Commissioner and the Deputy National Commissioner of Policing were in favor of the plan. And does that mean none of the others present were in favor?
That definitely means that because the plan was or is for the National Commissioner, it's his plan, the winding down plan, then he had to support it because it's his plan. And then the Deputy National Commissioner Policing did support the plan. I remember very well even her words, and one of the reasons, because she said, if we disband now, as the letter says, and we say all the members must go back to their respective stations, then a member from Cape Town, by the time he arrives in Cape Town, he gets the subpoena to go to Mtuba KZN to attend the court case. And then he comes back. By the time he arrives, then General Musigiri said that will be not so nice or good or possible for the members to continue with these cases whilst they are back to their stations of origin. So indeed,
It wouldn't be cost effective either, would it?
on top of that, not cost effective and dangerous and impossible. The whole idea of having coordinated work won't be there.
So you say that you mentioned particularly General Sabia and the Chief of Staff of the Minister as being against the plan, and they favored immediate disbandment. Did they say why?
The main reason, because I was part of the meeting, then everybody, after I presented, especially if you are a presenter, you listen attentively when your audience is now asking questions, because you want to do whatever, to understand whatever input they are going to have. Hence, then I still recall most of the inputs that were made there. The main point that the Chief of Staff as well as the Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, they were against was in the plan, disbandment plan, not to show the immediate. In other words, they were against the whole plan because the plan has got the winding down thinking. But then they will one of them will even say, it means you are defying the instruction of the minister because the minister says disband now. So that was the main point. And also somewhere in the plan, we had referred to the dockets under investigations to remain with the political killings task team. You see? So they were against even the alphabet PKTT. It was supposed to be, not to be there, and then replace it with something else. And also the other issue was the destination of the dockets. The proposal was talking to the dockets moved to the provincial office, so as the provincial commissioner can decide and design the way he is going to continue with these dockets without much of the damage caused. But then the the points against was these dockets must go back to their stations of origin, where they were picked from without being investigated.
General, was it proper for the minister's chief of staff to participate in these discussions?
In my view, also looking at my experience, Commissioner, I will definitely say it was not proper. I've sat in meetings where the chiefs of staff are sitting. According to me, it was not proper because they don't normally take part in the decision or discussion that is there during that meeting. In most cases, they act as record keepers of the chairperson, who will be the minister, in terms of decisions and whatever other assistance or support function of the minister, not to be. Because now, especially in the subject matter, it's the experts that are discussing this subject matter. And now there are no expertise of a chief of staff that are expected then to contribute in the point of discussion.
And what was the alternative name they were suggesting?
If my memory serves me well, instead of saying PKTT, it was just say investigators. So which will be open to any other investigator.
Thank you.
General, am I correct to describe, would I be correct rather, to describe the discussion, the plan about winding down as an operational matter and decision? How you're going to wind down and where dockets will go, does that fall in the category of operational decisions?
Thank you, Commissioner. It's pure operational. Maybe what makes it looks like administrative is the use of the term winding down. The proper and correct term or word that is used in an operational environment is demobilization. It took us 4 years to mobilize. Now, it cannot take you a day to demobilize what you mobilized for 4 years. So the winding down is also talking to that operational understanding, yes, because you have to demobilize resources, which will take you at least half a time that took you to mobilize, yes, if you are not having bad intentions.
Yes. And is it appropriate or regular for a chief of staff who's not a member of the policing environment as such, if I'm using the correct word, to have input into decisions that you describe as demobilizing, for example, a plan, how it's going to unroll? Is it appropriate? Is it regular?
I'll choose inappropriate, Commissioner, because the benefit of doubt one can give, because the chief of staff, we know and we are told that he is a former police officer. So maybe that might have contributed. I'll make an example. If the chief of staff was a former teacher, definitely the chief of staff won't be tempted even to comment, because the subject for discussion, it's something that has got to do with the support functions of the minister as well as any other administrative functions. It's pure operational.
Thank you.
But as I understand you, even if the chief of staff had experience in policing, it would still not be appropriate for the chief of staff, as chief of staff, to participate in a decision-making regarding operational matters.
That's exactly my view, commissioners. Hence, then I say maybe the chief of staff was overpowered by the police experience to think that, or to put down the cap of being a chief of staff and wear the cap of being my second in charge as the project manager of this operation.
Yeah, okay, we'll find out in due course whether you're being generous to him or not, General, with that explanation. Something else relating to this, when General Sibia and the Chief of Staff, as you say, they were arguing for immediate disbandment, did the minister explain to them or differ with them about what he meant when he said the disbandment must happen immediately in his letter? Did he offer them any suggestions about what he meant?
As the chairperson, thank you, commissioners. As the chairperson, the minister listened to the presentation, the plan, and listened to the inputs. And then the parting words or the closing words as a chairperson were then go back and do the amendments as per the comments, and then deduct this presentation into an information note where I can sign on the rescheduled meeting of the 27th of March.
The short answer to my question is the minister did not say to them what he meant when he says immediate.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Can you, I mean, there are two things I think that emerge from what you were saying in this paragraph. The one is the pushing back against something that is gradual, wanting the disbandment to happen immediately. But the second is that it was about the PKTT itself, that was the concern, that the longer it took, the longer the PKTT would be in existence. So that was the real nub of the objection, isn't that so?
Yeah, one can add that, as it's reflected also in my affidavit, that the winding down was going to prolong the lifespan of the PKTT. There are cases that will be at court for the next 4 or 5 years. So that will mean it will be maybe after the end of the term of the minister who disbanded, and then the disbandment will not have happened. I'm making an example. So the winding down plan had that as an issue, that it's not going to talk to the immediate.
Okay, thank you. So still on 164, just to complete this on this meeting on the 6th of March, could you just read into the record the last few lines of that paragraph, starting from "there was no firm resolution"?
Paragraph
It's paragraph 164. It's
from the beginning.
no. From the bottom up 5 lines. Just if you could read from where it says "there was no firm resolution."
Page 67, General.
Page 67.
On page 67, line
Page 67, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the top.
Thank you, Commissioners. It reads thus: there was no firm resolution, and it was agreed that a further meeting will be convened on the 27th of March 2025. I understood this to mean that the absence of an agreement on the way forward, there will be no movement of the dockets or personnel. In other words, the PKTT will continue its work because there is still no approval of the proposed disbandment plan.
Okay. So 165 and 166 we've actually covered. It's here in the timeline. It relates to the arrest of Mr. Matlala. We can move past that. Let's go then straight to the 27th of March, when there was a follow-up meeting. Who was present at this meeting?
Then the 27th of March, as the Cape Town meeting was rescheduled to, in attendance was the Minister, the 2 Deputy Ministers, the National Commissioner, the Lieutenant General Sintumule of Detectives, the Deputy National Commissioner, General Sibia, myself, and a Lieutenant Colonel from the team.
Now, you say the 2 deputy ministers. Who are you talking about here?
It's Deputy Minister Bushielo and Deputy Minister Matala.
Okay, so they were present. Is this the first time that they became involved in this discussion? Or were they involved in discussions before this regarding the disbandment?
In terms of my records, this was the first time that they were part of this discussion.
And did you present again on the plan, on a disbandment plan at this meeting?
Yeah. Maybe let me start by reminding the commissioners that the resolution of a Cape Town meeting was for us to deduct the presented draft plan with the inputs into an information note. So we had an idea that it's going to be a very short meeting. Even in my preparation, I was just prepared to point to the amendments to say on this slide, here there was PKTT. Now it's replaced by investigators.
General,
now here.
General, I did not want to stop you mid-sentence, but that's the longest sentence I've ever had to listen to. Sorry to interrupt you. And on the 4th line...
And that's saying a lot when it comes to the general.
4th line, General, you referred to Lieutenant General Khumalo, and then Lieutenant Colonel and me. Is there another Lieutenant General Khumalo?
It's a typing error, Commissioner. There is one Lieutenant General Khumalo. It's me.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks, General.
In this process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
So
sorry, I was asking the question, you were answering the question of whether you were presenting the revised disbandment plan to this meeting.
Yes, according to our understanding, attendees, the follow-up meeting was for us to point out on the changes made on the presentation and submit the information note format for approval. So when then we were about to start that presentation, and then the mistake, I call it a mistake for the lack of a better word, that happened is on the number of dockets, there was already a difference from one of the categories of the number of dockets between the 6th of March in Cape Town and the 27th of March, because the team was still operating. So there will be changes, especially on the part where you report the number and categories and status of dockets. Now, it happened then that the first slide was showing that different number, which then made the meeting not to continue as planned, because one had to try to explain why there is now a new number. And then the new number, according to us, was on the positive, because it was talking to a case that was previously under investigation. Now it was at court. But then we got then the comments that were suggesting that we do not want to stop the investigations because now there are different numbers. And then the discussion from there was around us not wanting, especially I'll refer to myself as the project leader, because I was named by the chairperson, the minister, as a person who does not want to disband the task team. And then the meeting did not continue.
Can I pause you for a second, just to be clear? So what caused the unhappiness was that your presentation had been updated to reflect the work that had been done on those cases.
Yes, most especially between the figures that we presented in Cape Town.
Yes.
And the figures now that we are presenting in
Yes.
Pretoria on the 27th.
You're referring to this type of
that is
report.
correct.
So that's page 295. This comes from the 6 March presentation, but
Yes.
you would have updated it for the 27th
For
of
the
March.
27th.
So it's not an entirely new table. It's just that the numbers have changed because work has been done on the docket.
Yes. And according to my view, it was not supposed to be an issue because the main part was the disbandment plan. The progress on working, because we all knew that nothing has changed. The team is still working until the disbandment plan is approved. But now the non-issue became an issue, that because now there are changes in the numbers, then we could not then continue with the disbandment plan amendments.
General, apologies to you and also apologies to you, Ms. Hassim, for interrupting your flow. General, may I ask you to read paragraph 167 from line 7 and also paragraphs 168, 169, and 170 into the record, please.
Before you do that, Chair, with your permission, Ms. Hassim, you flashed a document, a colorful document, to the general to check if that's what he's referring to. I think for the record, and you
Yes.
said page 295.
For the record, I
is
said
that SDK 30? Is that part?
Yes, of
Does
the
that come
6
from
March
SDK 30?
presentation.
All right, thank you.
From where it says the minister seemed.
The minister seemed angry with me, General, from there all the way to paragraph 170.
Thank you, Chair. I'll read on record. On last part of paragraph 167, the minister seemed angry with me. At this point, the National Commissioner and I were still proposing that the disbandment should be implemented But if it was
Should not be.
should not be implemented, but if it was going to be implemented, that it be a gradual disbandment as proposed during the as proposed in the 6th March 2025 meeting. Paragraph 168, the minister simply would not listen to anyone. He criticized me for being in charge of the PKTT and crime intelligence and questioned why was the National Commissioner and I were so invested in keeping the PKTT. He was now completely against the gradual approach and reverted to the immediate disbandment. Paragraph 169. When the minister was reminded that the PKTT was initiated in part by the president, he said that we should not mention the president and mention that he was tired of hearing about the president. Then he said that the president was in agreement that the PKTT be disbanded. I was shocked by this revelation since the president was briefed about the work of the PKTT after it was deployed to assist in the Fort Hare University murder investigations.
170.
The minister also stated that it took a political decision to establish the PKTT. Therefore, it will take a political decision to disband it. The minister said that there will be no further meetings regarding this matter, and any further engagements will be held with the National Commissioner and the meeting adjourned.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, Chair. Before we deal with what you say in 170, did anyone else speak in this meeting? Did anybody else weigh in and express a view on the disbandment?
It won't be easy to...
I mean, other than you and the National Commissioner who were proposing the plan.
Yeah, no, it won't be easy to recall commissioners. It was one of those meetings that one won't want to think about even when you're on retirement, because it was not a nice meeting, especially at the level where we are. We think we understand and we prepare, but then when you get to the meeting, So in terms of comments, and because this happened as I was starting with the briefing, so one was not really paying attention that much to whatever comments that will come from any other attendees.
So what was your response to the minister criticizing you for being in charge of the PKTT and crime intelligence?
It's a discussion that now and again will come from the same, I will say, individuals, which is not, according to me, necessary, because in the SAPS, especially as you move up the levels, you are expected then to have so many different roles that you play. And currently, I am the Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence full-time, but then I'm also overseeing the political killings task team, not involved full-time like I was. There are commanders, there is everybody doing whatever that they need to do. But if, for instance, there is a need that there is a document that needs to be prepared for the principals, then the team will prepare and submit that document to me. So I'm only dealing with very high-level documents like the extension documents, which is once a year, and whatever other strategic issues that needs to be attended to. So that is the current situation.
And what is the substance of the criticism? Why is it being suggested that you cannot be the Divisional Commissioner for Intelligence and at the same time do work related to the PKTD? What's the substance of the criticism?
At first glance, Commissioner, thank you. At first glance, it would look like maybe not understanding what I was explaining. But then when you, because the other reason why the National Commissioner kept, maybe let me say, Commissioner, the two current interventions or task teams that are still in place were started and established by myself. The other one in 2017, I think the other one also in 2018 in Western Cape. But then as I was appointed at other environments, then the National Commissioner decided that you are going to oversee this. Now I'm going back to the understanding, because the National Commissioner has got the understanding that the methodology itself, it's our doing. So it's not easy for any other person to be associated with the methodology. Not that it talks to doing the work, but it talks to overseeing, giving guidance where it's necessary, because the idea is to grow the understanding of the methodology.
General, before this meeting of the 27th and this criticism, had the minister spoken to you or indicated concerns about your being in charge of the PKTT and being in crime intelligence, the boss of crime intelligence? Had he recorded to you any concerns?
Not to me. That I've never been given an opportunity to engage, but in meetings where I'm part, it will come now and again, but not as a main point of discussion.
Is this in meetings with the minister?
Yes.
The minister being present in the meetings?
Yes.
Okay. And your immediate superior, General Sibia, has he formally raised any concerns with you about your dual roles?
Also, of late, maybe let me give it the timeline. This is the comment that started to be popular of late. Not because, if we may recall, my immediate supervisor recommending the extension done by me in March 2024. So I will say everything was rosy up until a particular time towards the end of the year, when then we start experiencing these comments also.
General Sibia?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, General, you mentioned two other task teams. Are these task teams also national task teams?
They are multidisciplinary task teams of the police, SAPS.
And what are these other two that you're referring to?
The
names of the task teams.
The names, the other one has got a very ugly name, a Zulu name, Umgodi Wemvubu, which is in...
Wemvubu. Wemvubu, one?
Can you repeat it?
Umgodi wemvubu.
Oh, I wanted to hear the
Yeah.
name, yeah.
Yeah, it is in the border of South Africa and Mozambique, dealing with the cross-border crimes, or more especially cross-border vehicle thefts or hijackings. And then it's another multidisciplinary project or task team with investigating officers, combat, LCRC, some of the expertise. Also, the other one is formerly Operation Thunder in Cape Town. That was later in 2018 changed to Operation Lockdown. That is still on.
Okay, so when was the first operation task team established? Operation Ngodi?
Yeah, in 2017, I don't have the specific month.
Okay. By you?
Yes,
And the second task team was also started by you?
in Western Cape, yes.
That's in the Western Cape?
Yes,
And when?
2018.
2018. And are they still in existence?
They are still in existence, the two task teams.
Okay, but these are not overseen by you?
Yes, I wanted to explain that, commissioners, that when I was introducing myself, more especially at the level of a brigadier, this was my line function to plan, coordinate, and implement national intervention operations, in short, task teams. So during those years, 2016, 2017, 2018, I was a brigadier doing exactly that. So that is why then I refer to them as established by myself, but they were established by myself as my line function by then.
Thanks. Okay,